طاقت تیرے کا قاسم کا بدن پامال ہوا، اکبر کا درد اٹھا کے ہاتھوں میں رسن بندھوا کے میں شام چلی نانا، شام چلی، میں شام چلی، شام چلی، میں شام چلی۔ غازی کے بعد میں غازی ہوں، میں ناد علی دہراتی ہوں، غازی کے بعد میں غازی ہوں، میں ناد علی دہراتی ہوں، خطبوں کی تیز چلا کے غازی کا علم لہرا کے میں شام چلی نانا، شام چلی، میں شام چلی، شام چلی، میں شام چلی۔ پردیس میں گئے لٹوا کے پر تیرا دین بچا کے، پردیس میں گئے لٹوا کے پر تیرا دین بچا کے میں شام چلی نانا، شام چلی، میں شام چلی، شام چلی، میں شام چلی۔ سلامت۔
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ سن لو اپنی بیٹی کے آخری بیان بابا، بند ہونے والی ہے اس کی اب زبان بابا، جب میرا جوان بھیا ایڑیاں رگڑتا تھا، چبھ رہی تھی میرے بھی دل میں برچیاں بابا، سن لو اپنی بیٹی کے آخری بیان بابا، جسم کانپ اٹھتا ہے، روح تھر تھراتی ہے، شمر ہم کو دیتا ہے ایسی گرکیاں بابا، جب گلے لگایا تھا تم نے ہم کو مقتل میں، آج تک رلاتا ہے ہائے وہ سما بابا، سن لو اپنی بیٹی کے کان ہو گئے زخمی، گال ہو گئے نیلے، ظالموں نے یوں چھینی میری بالیاں بابا، سن لو اپنی بیٹی کے یہ خبر نہیں مجھ کو کب جلا میرا دامن، دور تک سر آنکھوں کے سامنے دھواں بابا، سن لو اپنی بیٹی کے आखिरी बयां बाबा पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Hussain Khimji for accepting our offer and visiting our center and commemorate this Shahadat of Imam with us. And here are the upcoming programs at this center. So the next program will inshallah be the Shabba Juma program, which is the usual Shabba Juma recitations we'll do. And starting at 7:30 p.m. This Shabba Juma, we are, instead of lecture, we are doing a workshop, which is Jama Salat rules. So Maulana will be leading the, Maulana Resident Alim Maulana Sayyid Sagur Hassan will be conducting the workshop for Jama Salat on this coming Thursday. The next program will be on Friday, the Juma Salat, Jamaat Salat, Awal Waqt, which is 1:14 p.m. this coming Friday. On Friday night, which will be the night of 10th Safar, and we'll be commemorating the 30th of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the program will start at 7:30 p.m. With the recitation, and then we'll have Jama Salat, and inshallah the majlis recited by Sheikh Jafar Jafar. The next program will be the regular Shabba Juma program on the following Thursday. And starting from Friday onwards, which will be, or Saturday onwards, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be the Arba'in program at this center, which will be from September 25th to 28th, starting at 6:15 p.m. So we'll be giving more details inshallah in coming days. These are the programs. Couple of quick announcements. As usual, you know the protocol we have to follow. Make sure you wear the mask all the time except you're behind the screen. Use the hand sanitizer while coming in, leaving out, no handshakes, and maintain the physical distancing while in the center. Donations are always welcome. If you want to donate, we have the donation boxes, or you can contact anyone in the admin. Anyone wanting to join the Jamaat can contact again any admin member, and you can also renew your membership online. And that's it from my end. And with your loud salawat, I'll ask more, Dr. Hussain Khimji to start his lecture about Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
नाराए तकबीर
Allahu Akbar.
नाराए तकबीर
Allahu Akbar.
नाराए रिसालत नाराए रिसालत नाराए हैदरी नाराए हैदरी और मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله وحمدا كثيرا وهو الله لا إله إلا هو له الحمد في الأولى والآخرة وله الحكم وإليه ترجعون والحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصينا معه العدون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين رحمة للعالمين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين أبي القاسم محمد والحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصينا معه العدون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين رحمة للعالمين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد والصلاة والسلام على آله وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين كما قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. All the praise and all the glory belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will excuse me slightly because I have got some little throat problem, inshallah wa ta'ala. Now, we are, my coming here, I really feel at home because I have been coming here not in the new building, but in the previous building many, many times, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. And when I was discussing this with Maulana, he gave me a beautiful simile, he gave me a beautiful example. And he told me that, as soon as you walk the door, you are in the family. That was wonderful, simile. So, Maulana, thank you so very much. Now, we are, gathered here, tonight to commemorate the Shahadat of our second Imam, Imam al-Hassan ibn Ali alayhi salam. And what I will do is to give a very brief biography of the Imam and the lessons, that we learned from his life and the struggles that he went through as a true jihad. And then I also want to discuss, briefly, what is our jihad as good citizens of this beautiful country. There was just a report only in the last few days that the best country in the world, from the 10 best countries in the world, most peaceful, the first one is Copenhagen, and the second one is Canada. So we are, alhamdulillah, very fortunate that we can gather here in peace. But we have to be also, the exemplar of this caring and loving, country of ours. So, I want to give you one small, formula. And if you remember that formula, then, inshallah, it will be, beneficial to all of us. Islam is very unique. In Islam, Iman by itself is not enough. Iman must be accompanied with muamalat. And muamalat is, amal saleh. If I say to myself that I really believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I don't want to do anything wrong in my life, I will take my wife and my children, and I will go to the mountains, and I will be doing my salat, I will be doing my siyam, I'll be fasting, I'll be reciting the Quran. Is it acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The answer is no. It is really big, fat zero. It means nothing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Iman must be accompanied by muamalat. And muamalat is amal saleh. Comes first. So I want to give you in English a very quick example, and I have actually concocted this in English so that it becomes very simple for youths, to understand. So if you remember 3 F's, A, B, C, D, E, F. If you remember 3 F's, then inshallah it will be beneficial to all of us. Can we hear on salawat, please? So, the first F is faith. Faith is what? Iman. Iman, true Iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the true Iman for us is, complete understanding of, Usul ad-Din. And after Usul ad-Din, the complete understanding of, Furu ad-Din. When we say Usul ad-Din, what does Usul mean? Usul means the roots. And Furu is the branches. From the root, from the Usul, you have got the shooting up branches. Now, the unique thing is that in Usul ad-Din, there is no taqleed. There is tahqiq. Tahqiq means that, that we have to find out ourselves what is the meaning of Tawheed, what is the meaning of Adalat, what is the meaning of Nabuwat, what is the meaning of Imamat, and what is the meaning of Qiyamat. This is our fundamental responsibility to understand. Once we've understood this, then we have to go to the Furu ad-Din, where, we have got namaz, roza, zakat, khums, jihad, amr bil ma'ruf, amr bil ma'ruf, nahi anil munkar, tawalla tabarra. All these are Furu ad-Din. In Furu ad-Din, you can do taqleed. Taqleed is wajib, because you have to know exactly, what you have to do. But not tahqiq. Tahqiq, you can do tahqiq as well in Furu ad-Din, but also taqleed. But you can't do taqleed in Usul ad-Din. So it is very important for us. We cannot accept blind faith. We have to understand exactly, why do we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why there is the concept of adalat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I teach in the university, I tell my students, the concept of adalat. How do you really understand truly that there has to be, without any doubt, the day of judgment? How do we make people outside understand? So the best example that I give to my students is, that in this dunya, total justice is not possible at all. Think about it. How can you do justice, for example, to Bin Laden, who killed 3,000 innocent people? How can you do justice to Yazid? How can you do justice to Muawiyah? How could you do justice to, so many others? To Hitler? It's not possible in this world. So then, the conclusion that we reach is that there has to be a day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide fullest justice. And that is really, if you understand this, then you know the concept of adalat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is adil. Allah is not zalim. Beautiful asma of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rahman ar-Rahim, al-Malik, al-Quddus, al-Salam, al-Mu'min, al-Muhaymin, al-Aziz, al-Jabbar, al-Mutakabbir, al-Khaliq, al-Bari, al-Musawwir. One of the ism is also that he is the avenger, that he will avenge those who did ill in this dunya. He has to do it because he is al-Adil. After all the names in which there is Rahmah and Maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one is also that Allah is Al-Muntaqim, Al-Avenger, that He will. So that is, the first F, faith. We have to have faith. Then once you have that faith, our second responsibility, which is second F, is our family. Islam is, as I've told you, beautifully set out examples for us. We have got three-pronged responsibilities in this dunya for us. One is Iman, full understanding of the Iman. When we have that, you will see brightness and shine. You will be able to attract others towards you. And this dunya is hungry. They want to learn from Muslims. We are invited to go and speak to the synagogues, to the churches, to the schools, to the colleges, to the temples. And when we speak, you will see some people will come in front of you with tears in their eyes, especially from people of the Ahlul Kitab, especially the Christians. I have spoken to the public, and I've seen Christians come to me with the tears in their eyes, saying, "We did not know all this. We did not know all this. This is Islam." How beautiful. So we have to really understand this. So this is then our second responsibility. Our second responsibility is our family. In family, in the first responsibility, 5 times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals after the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our responsibilities to our walidain. 5 times in the Quran, and there's another ayat as well, the 6th time as well. Many times in the Quran. Our family, starting with the walidain, our family, our wives, our children. And then the third F is then people outside. This is, you can call it the third F, friends. The friends include first our community, and through the community to the world at large. The 3-pronged responsibilities. If you understand that, then inshallah you will see big difference in your thinking, big difference that you will have a goal to go through and you will submit to that. 3 F's. Now our immediate responsibility right now. What is our responsibility right now, immediately right now, tonight, today, this week? This is a voting week. In this voting week, our responsibility is to make sure to understand what the parties represent and which is the party that is best for us. Once you understand that, then you will feel satisfied. There will be sukoon that you did the right thing. It's very, very, very important. Please make sure that you don't vote for the party that is wrong. Which party, speaks very openly about anti-Semitism, about Islamophobia, about social justice, about racial equality. Think about all that before you go and vote. Inshallah wa ta'ala. Can we have one more salawat, please? So, I will give very brief, biography of our, second Imam. And also then, I want to speak about, inshallah, that there is an accusation that, because Imam Hassan, alayhi salam, salawat, please. Because he signed a peace treaty, it was not the jihad. So I want to know the meaning of jihad. What is the meaning of jihad? Does jihad mean that you go and fight? Does jihad mean fighting to kill? There is no word in the Quran which says jihad, meaning to fight to kill. At the time of 9/11, one of the top Muslim scholars, Dr. Gamal Badawi, he came out with the open challenge to anyone who can find in the Quran the word jihad, to kill. If I remember correctly, he has offered $25,000 to anyone Open challenge to the whole world. Go to the Quran, cover to cover. You will never find the word jihad meaning war to kill. The word in which there is a war of social justice, there's a war, then the word is qital, where there's killing. You can also ask later on, Maulana as well, inshallah ta'ala. So jihad simply means struggle. So this is what I want to actually discuss, very, very clearly, very, very quickly, and then we will learn, after we have learned, the true meaning of the word, to kill, then inshallah ta'ala, we will go through, certain ayat, from the Quran, and then inshallah, after that we will look at a very brief, bayan of the, masayib of, the wafat of Imam Hassan ibn Ali alayhi salam. Salawat. So, because, jihad does not mean, war to kill, that means, that, the Imam Hassan alayhi salam, could not have been considered as a jihad because he did not go to the, to any battlefield. As a matter of fact, he signed, the peace, treaty. So life of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, can we salawat please? Teaches us, important, very, very important, lessons. And among those important lessons, one is that the life should be lived with wisdom, with hikmat. And in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, I think it is Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 69, I think, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives how greatest gift is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives someone the hikmat, the wisdom. That the success in life can only come through the understanding of the meaning of the true word and the necessity of, jihad as we go through our earthly life. So Imam Hassan alayhi salam, he's, eldest son of, Imam Ali ibn Salam and me Fatima al-Zahra salamu alayha. His birth, his wiladat was in the month of Ramadan, 3rd al-Hijrah, and his wafat was in 50 al-Hijrah. That means that his life was 47 years. And the books actually tell us, universally, Sunnis and Shia books, that he looked very much similar to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was loved by people. As he saw him in the masjid with his grandfather who would pick him up and make him sit beside him. When he was born on that day, Rasulullah came to the house of Fatima al-Zahra and he recited Razan and Iqama in his ears, And he was very fond of, having Imam Hassan come to the masjid. When he came to the masjid, a small boy, the whole of the community, loved him. And Rasulullah showed so much love to him and also to his brother, Imam Hussain ibn Salam. Then, Rasulullah's wafat took place when he was only 8 years old. And then for the next 25 years, he spent his life with Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Now, so in that, 25 years, after the passing away of Rasulullah when he was only 8 years old, and a few months after that, his mother, Fatima al-Zahra, also, passed away. And then after that, the struggle of remaining with total sabr of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam was so unique. But in those 25 years, things changed totally in the Islamic world. So as we know that after the first Khalifa, and then the second Khalifa, and then the third Khalifa, Uthman, who ruled for 12 years. In these 12 years, for the 6 years, it was expansion of the, of the Islamic Empire, the largest empire that the world had ever seen. But in the last 6 years of his life, he was a very old man by then, and he was belonging to the Umayyad clan. And as you know that, when the Fatih Makkah took place, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, very unique in history. We should know all this. I am relating to you all so that you should know, so that when you are speaking to the public, you should know all this. It is very unique in the history. It has never happened like this. In the milieu of that time, we are speaking about the 7th century of Arabia, where, whenever there is a war and the defeated people, menfolk must be taken and put to sword, and women are taken captives. Rasulullah did nothing like that. When they asked him, Ya Rasulullah, so what will you do with us? And he said to them, you are to me like the brother, just as Nabi Yusuf al-Islam forgave his brothers, I forgive you, antum tulaqa, you are free to go. Now Uthman also belonged to the Umayyad clan as well. So in his last 6 years, and even before that, he began promoting Umayyads to different positions. And among them, he also promoted Muawiyah who was in Sham, and he gave them a large post, amazing post, in the last 6 years of Uthman's life. And those governors, so in the history books, Uthman is charged with nepotism. You know the meaning of nepotism, right? Nepotism is, when someone favors his own people, his own clan, that is called nepotism. So he is being described in the history book as one who was, it was a nepotism, giving Umayyads different positions, different posts, large posts. Among them, the governor of Egypt that he had appointed was not good at all. People were making complaints to Uthman. There's nothing that he could, he was very old. Therefore, a mob came out from Egypt, went to Medina. Imam Ali posted Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein alayhi salam outside, outside the home of Uthman for the protection. But yet, this mob was able to enter in the darkness of the night in the home of the Uthman, and they killed him. His wife, Naila, tried to protect him, and she had her fingers chopped. This is how the Shahadat of Uthman took place. He was killed. Now there is big fitna. It was a fitna war in the history books, as we are told as well. People now throng to Imam Ali alayhi salam. They forced him to accept the Khilafat. And the first thing that he did, or one of the first things that he did, was to get these governors, telling them to resign from their posts. Muawiyah refused to resign. He had a very high post, promoted also in the time, started from the time of Umar, and then promoted again in the time of Uthman, and he refused. And the excuse that he gave was that, that Imam Ali should first get the killer of Uthman, then he will resign. And Imam Ali actually told him that we will get, but I'm telling you first, that you should resign, like he told others as well. And he refused. And this then, he gave, those, big battle, that came, Battle of Siffin. Before that, there was a problem with, Mu'mineen Aisha, as well. There was, the Battle of Jamal, and then the Battle of Siffin. When the Battle of Siffin actually took place, Imam Ali, the trick that Muawiyah did just at the time when Imam Ali's force was winning in the Battle of Siffin, the minister of, Muawiyah had one, Amr bin al-As, who was very shrewd. He asks Amr bin al-As, what shall we do? And Amr bin al-As said that, that ask your army to raise the copies of the Quran on their spears and look for the arbitration. So when they did that, Imam Ali's force stopped fighting. Imam Ali told them, continue. But they said, how can we fight against the Quran? Imam Ali said, I've already spoken to Muawiyah. We have got letters, even if you read the books, if you even look at, Najib Balag in the letters of, Imam Ali salam, you'll find, references, So, but, they would not budge to it. And the war ended, and this created a big row. Group of people in the army of Imam Ali now began to accuse Imam Ali alayhi salam. And this produced, those who are the Kharijians, who eventually killed Imam Ali ibn Talib. Who are these Kharijis? Kharijis are exact terrorists, like you find now. Ruthless. Exactly like that. And Rasulullah had, prophesied about the people like this. He said, you will see after me people who have got big mark on the forehead, big beard, but they will not have understood Islam. Imam Ali had he tried his best. There was no chance, and they fought against him. Imam Ali won, and they are called the Kharijites. What is the meaning of Kharijites? It comes from the word Kharaja. Kharaja is to go out. Kharijites are those who are outside the pale of Islam. This was a very difficult situation. It is from this, Kharijites then, who went and killed, who did kill also Imam Ali ibn Talib salam, in the month of Ramadan, 19th of Ramadan, and on the 21st of Ramadan, Imam Ali salam saying, passed away. It was the wafat, very, very tragic. But now people now throng to Imam Hassan. Imam Hassan now is accepted as the Khalifa. I think I've got until 9:05. So it's up. I've got until 9:05. Okay. Can we have one salawat, please? So now Imam Hassan ibn Ali Islam is now accepted as the Khalifa. And in many books, Khulafa Rashidun, when Khulafa Rashidun are actually mentioned, in many, many books, Sunni books as well, the Khulafa Rashidun mentioned are 5, not 4, 5. The 5th one is Imam Hassan ibn Ali alayhi salam. But Muawiyah did not keep peace with Imam Hassan ibn Ali alayhi salam, and he was continuously causing problems. And because he was very, very rich, Islamic empire, he spent lots of money, lots of wealth to buy out supporters of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib salam. That's just supporters of Imam Hassan ibn Ali salam, and many, many, many people who were with the army of Imam Hassan now left him and joined Muawiyah. And Imam Hassan, and they even actually injured Imam Hassan ibn Ali salam as well. Imam Hassan saw that there was no more chance except to sign a peace treaty. And that is how he signed, the peace treaty. And after the peace treaty, as I come to the Shahadat, I will actually let you know how did the Shahadat actually occur of the Imam. But in the meantime, I want to explain to you very quickly, the word jihad. So nobody can accuse Imam Hassan that he did not go for jihad. His whole life was jihad. Rasulullah said Imam Hussein's jihad was in the battlefield. Imam Hassan's jihad was going to be in making peace. He is the one who will preserve the community of Islam. So, I want to explain to you very quickly, there are several places in the Quran as well. So, let's see, first, let's look at, who is a mu'min? How does Quran describe who is a true mu'min? In the time of, Rasulullah, in one particular area, after, many people had already accepted Islam, there was one particular area where there was the tribe of Bani Asad. And in that area, there was, no rain, there was a drought. And therefore, people decided to have some help. Before they wanted to have some help, they decided to go to Rasulullah and ask for some help. And they went to Rasulullah and they said, that Ya Rasulullah, we have believed, we have got Iman, we have believed in you, and we have come for, help. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, that do not say that you have got Iman. Say the truth, that you are Muslims. Iman has not yet entered in your heart. But still, if you do good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still give you, the thawab for any good that you do. But then the question is then, who is a mu'min? And immediately after that is in Surah Al-Hujurat. Immediately after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals the ayat, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innama in Arabic means only those. Innamal mu'minun, only those are the mu'min. Innamal mu'minun alladhina amanu billahi wa rasulihi thumma lam yartabu wa jahadu bi amwalihim wa anfusihim fi sabilillahi ulaika humus sadiqun. That only those are considered to be mu'min who have total iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasul. Thumma lam yartabu, and then after that they have never doubted. And they have continuously struggled with jahadu bi amwalihim wa anfusihim, with their wealth and with their own life as well, with their own selves as they go through this life. Fi sabilillah, in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ulaika humus sadiqun. These are the only ones who are the truth. So you see very, very clearly here what is the meaning of jihad. Jihad means very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in many, many places. But here is one place that only those are mu'min who struggle with their life and with everything that they have in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If effectively one says, La ilaha illa Muhammadur Rasulullah, I believe. Okay. But it could be only iqrar bil lisan. It could be only lip service. What is required is tasdeequn bil qalb. What is required is the real inner faith as shown in this ayat. When you have that, and summa lam yartabu, and after that there is never doubted, and they go through the life, with the struggle. So, there are many other, for example, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu hal adullukum ala tijaratin tunjikum min adhabin alim tu'minuna billahi wa rasulihi wa tujahiduna fi sabilillahi bi amwalikum wa anfusikum dhalikum khairun lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. Beautiful ayat in Surah As-Saf. Beautiful ayat. There are many others. So, if jihad was meaning to, to give life, then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have actually revealed in other places, giving us, the true meaning of jihad as well. For example, we have got, surah in the Quran, I think it's Surah Luqman, if I'm not mistaken, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually, reveals, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا وَاتَّبِعِ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيَّ ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ فَيُنَبِّئُكُم بِمَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Those who are converted, to Islam, their parents are now struggling with them. Okay, they are doing the jihad. So jihad is not to fight. A struggle from the parents telling the son that you've done wrong by accepting Islam. Come back to what our fathers and our forefathers were worshipping. Okay, and so they do the jihad against this. So jihad then does not mean war to kill. Jihad simply means to struggle. وَاتَّبِعِ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيَّ ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ فَأُنَبِّئُكُم بِمَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. That way, if your parents actually do this, to you, then you still be good to them, you be kind to them, but do not go back to what they are worshipping. If jihad means struggle, then when was the life of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam not jihad? Was the life of Fatima Zahra salam alayha not jihad? So then then I want to now wrap up. So then Imam decides to sign the treaty with Muawiyah. So his life was jihad. This was also jihad now, in peace as well. And some of the clauses are in the treaty, as we read, where that for example, Muawiyah will rule with the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah. That Muawiyah should not appoint or nominate anyone to the Khilafat after him, but that he should leave the choice should be to the Muslims. In many sources, that the next Khalifa, if he dies, then the next Khalifa would be Imam Hassan ibn alayhi salam. That the poor people should be left in peace wherever they are in the land of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That that Muawiyah should not curse the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam, particularly Imam Ali alayhi salam. That the persecution of the companions of Imam Ali should immediately be stopped, their lives and properties and family guarantees should be saved. None of these Muawiyah kept the treaty. And instead he continuously, so then Imam Hassan ibn alayhi salam, after this to he went back to Medina. He was at that time 40 years old. So for the next 10 years, from 40 al-Hijrah to 50 al-Hijrah, for 10 years, he went back to Medina. And in Medina, he became so popular that Muawiyah and his cronies were so afraid of him. And as a result of that, Muawiyah actually sent, poison for Imam Hassan to be killed. We are told in some books 7 times, in some books 3 times, but 7 times. But that poison did not actually work. Then he convinced his wife. Joda al-Ashash, to poison her husband, Imam Hassan ibn alayhi salam. And he said that if you will poison him, then I will let you marry my own son Yazid. You will become the queen, and you will have all the good things in your life. And as a result of this, this Joda, one day, as Imam Hassan ibn alayhi salam had, the key, the kuza of the water, it was actually sealed. Secretly, she broke the seal. उसमें जहर डाल देती है, और जब इमाम हसन उसमें से पानी पीते हैं तो फौरी तौर पे जान लेते हैं कि ये जहर है, इससे अब बचना नहीं है. As a result of that, then we see that that Imam Hassan ibn alayhi salam, when he throws out, किताबों में ये लिखा है कि जिगर के टुकड़े बाहर आ जाते हैं इमाम हसन के. इमाम हसन वसीयत करते हैं, और वसीयत में ये कहते हैं इमाम हुसैन से कि मेरे जनाजे को, now in some books we are told, that he made the wasiyat, for him to be buried, next to the grave of Rasulullah. But authentic sources say he did not say that. He said, just take me to the grave of my grandfather, I want to do the ziyarat, so let my coffin do the ziyarat and then bury me in Jannatul Baqi. Mujhko Jannatul Baqi mein dafn kar dena, near his mother Bibi Fatima Zahra Salaam alayha. So then, as the coffin was actually prepared, اب جب جنازہ جاتا ہے مسجد نبوی میں رسول کے روزے کی طرف جب جاتا ہے تو وہاں سے مروان آواز اٹھاتا ہے اور اس کی آواز سے there is this army that actually comes out, people come out and they are oppose کرتے ہیں. اس میں عائشہ بھی شامل تھی. And they are actually throwing arrows. They're throwing arrows to the janaza of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And so many, we are told about 13 arrows went and hit, the coffin, including the actual body of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. اور کوئی چارہ نہیں تھا سوائے یہ تھا کہ جنازے کو واپس لے جائیں گھر میں. Usually when the janazah goes out and it does not come back home, but this janazah actually went back home. They had to take it home. وہ گھر میں واپس لے جاتے ہیں اور امام حسین ایک تیر کو نکالتے ہیں اور پھر جا کے جنت البقیع میں دفن کرتے ہیں. یہ تیر کو نکالتے ہیں لیکن یاد آتا ہے کہ جب عاشور کے دن، اللہ اکبر، جب عاشور کے دن امام کے ہاتھ میں علی اصغر ہے اور تیر لگا ہے اور کوئی نہیں ہے، جس طرح سے خون نکلتا ہے امام حسین اس خون کو دیکھتے ہیں آسمان کی طرف. اللہ سے انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا ينقلبون انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون. ماتم حسین. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، بولے ہوں گے حسین یہ رو کر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر. ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، نوجوان لاش ہے ضعیفی ہے، میری نظروں سے دیکھ منظر کو. کیسے ہم شیر کو سنبھالوں گا،
میں سنبھالے ہوئے ہوں اکبر کو، تیرا احسان ہوگا یہ مجھ پر، ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر، ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، اس کے سینے سے لے کے نام علی میں نے برچھی ابھی نکالی ہے، امتحان دے چکی میری غربت، اب تیری بے کسی کی باری ہے، تو بھی اس وقت یا علی کہہ کر، ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، لا رہا ہوں میں لاشائے اکبر، ام لیلا سنبھال زینب کو، تو نگینے تھے اس کی جھولی میں، دونوں اکبر پہ کر دیے